What's up, SOBs? Welcome back to the Stream of Blood here on Twitch. Twitch, your streaming destination for all kinds of games. But tonight we are going to play a tabletop role-playing game. That's what we do here on the Stream of Blood, and we are going to give you a chapter of our ongoing series where we have 3 different parties and our subscribers all controlling different groups in the city of Duskfall in John Harper's Blades in the Dark by Evil Hat Games and John Harper. Guys, this game, I keep saying it, I'll say it again, it is the best game I think that has come out in 20 years. It has a completely new take on rules, some of it a little bit borrowed from the Powered by the Apocalypse games that came before it, but there's so many things that Evil Hat and John add to Blades, so I highly recommend, if you haven't played it, watch us tonight, see what you think, but I think you should go out and grab a copy of this or one of the other Forged in the Dark games that use this game engine. There's Band of Blades, there's Scum and Villainy, which is like a space, a science fiction version of this game, Blades in the Dark. They're all great, and I highly recommend you play them because if you're looking for something different from Dungeons and Dragons, which your group always plays, but you want something, different, but still close enough that everybody can get into it, I think this is kind of the perfect flavor for that. So that's me going on and on about the game for a little bit. I'm so excited to play it, and I'm especially excited to play it with the crew we have tonight. I mean, these players, every time I get to play with them, I get really stoked because they just bring it so hard. And that's what you want. You want players like these. You want players like the Weird Sisters. Tonight we are going to have a score with our crew of assassins called the Weird Sisters. But before we get into that, I just want to say, if you are watching the show and you enjoy what we're doing here, we would love for you to click the subscribe button. Subscribing to us here on Twitch is the best way to support what we do. The more people that subscribe, the more content we can bring you. It's just a nice thing to do. We use it to kind of pay graphic designers and things like that to do cool things like create our new look. Or to get me out of the weird room I was in and get me into this new garage studio, so that what you see is pretty and doesn't make your eyeballs want to peel back. So click that subscribe button. If you see someone watching that you've seen a couple times in the chat who doesn't have a subscription, maybe purchase one for them. We really, really appreciate it. And we appreciate our viewers who come back again and again. Let's introduce our squad. We've got 3 amazing players tonight. One is new to this crew, but I had the pleasure of playing with her many times on Thaco Tuesdays, our Tuesday night show. We occasionally put on Taste of Blood, where we play old school Dungeons and Dragons. She's going to make her debut now in our Blades in the Dark universe, Blood and Blades. You can find more of her great content on twitch.tv/Paula Deming. That's right, everybody. It's Paula Deming. Bring her in. Let's bring it. Oh, hello.
There I am. Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent.
Wonderful.
So you've played a little bit of Blades, right, Paula? You've had a session or two. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know about the flashbacks, right? You know how to flashback. Okay. Well, if you have any questions,
well, we'll find out how much I actually know and how much I said I knew, but didn't.
Good. That's a good way to think about it. This is a test.
That's how all role playing is. It's a test.
It's a good idea. It's of course not. We're just like hopefully going to laugh at some stupid joke one of us makes, but that's what I think the point of it is. That's what I think the point of it is. But it is funny, like how much I realize sometimes when you're playing like that's, players like do feel sometimes a little bit like they're being. I guess they are being tested because I'm like saying things like they point the gun at you. What do you do? There's only one right answer.
Oh gosh, I don't know what skill am I supposed to use here. I've rolled dice now, right? I don't.
Yeah, right. Look at your sheet and then roll dice. Usually that'll get you out of the situation. Can you want to just tell us a little bit about your character right now, and we'll learn more about them later. What playbook are you playing tonight?
I am, oh gosh, my character sheet. I had it. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Oh, great. Good. Good. I know everything. I know her very well.
Of course. No problem.
My character is Tabitha Keel. I'm a hound.
Okay.
And my alias, I go by Powder, a nickname that I earned a long time ago, as I always seem to have just the residue of gunpowder somewhere about me from the guns that I am an expert at shooting.
Great. Was there something that what kind of drew you to that kind of idea of a gunsmith, a gunslinger?
I just thought it would be fun.
Yeah.
I like the idea of being able to kind of stand back and be a little more ranged potentially. Yeah. Like the idea of being able to kind of like track someone down and then just be real violent. With this character, sure. They're like, hey, the thing you should do is track people and also use violence. And that's sometimes the opposite of my go-to move in a game. And so I thought it will be fun to have an excuse to just be as much of an asshole as possible.
Great. I can't wait to see that. I mean,
so we'll see if I can do it.
Blades in the Dark definitely rewards, characters who are assholes. I mean, they're scoundrels, another word for asshole. And, it is fun to shoot things for pretend.
Right.
In the real world, I don't get the appeal, but for pretend, big Gatling gun, that's for fun,
right? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull it out, So
let's bring in the rest of our crew. Whereas our friend Tabitha, the Hound, sounds like she prefers a pretty direct approach. These two have different skill sets and powers at hand. This player is a fantastic role player, actress, improviser that we love having on our show, Stream of Blood, anytime we can. She plays Kija, a slide who uses disguise mostly. That minion who's wearing a mask, that thug in the back, that's probably Kija in disguise who's about to turn the tables on you. Let's welcome. She's also the host of a show called The Good Time Society that you should watch. Please welcome Becca Scott, everybody.
Hello.
Howdy.
The defining characteristic of this character is I speak into the mic very quietly, but very close.
Yes.
That's it.
I'm so impressed that you guys take the time to find the character like that, because I feel like episode to episode, I think this guy was Scottish this last time. I hope this sounds Scottish. But yes,
we have a well-defined character here.
Yeah, Kija has a nice sotto. Is that his sotto voce? She's got a nice
voce.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and seduce everyone with espionage and politicking.
Right.
Can I tell you?
I hope I don't shoot them in the face before you get to it.
I mean, you chose violence, and I love that for you.
Yeah. When you think Paula, you think violent.
She chooses
violence is about to happen.
Look, sometimes you just got to go with what comes most naturally. I will say I didn't describe it. I know we're waiting on our final player here, but I didn't say, Tabitha is physically, she's athletic, but she's unassuming. People don't look at her and go, oh, she's gonna, mess me up here. But then pop, just this is how you mime guns properly in improv. So pop. Yeah.
To your earlier point, if everyone played role-playing games, there would be no shootings. You get it out.
You get it out of your system.
Get it out of your system.
Let's bring in our third player. She takes an entirely different approach. She's a fantastic streamer, actress, improviser that you can see more of on twitch.tv/that bronze girl. I've loved having her in this Blades in the Dark crew, where she plays just a real weird person. I mean, so strange. And last episode, we found out that she has a tiny town full of people where she traps people's souls in. And that was disturbing and also unexpected. Please welcome the disturbing and unexpected Jasmine Bhullar, everybody.
Disturbing.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Jasmine,
we're good.
that bronze girl. And I play Mollie. Who's,
Mollie.
weirdo.
Oh, I've been looking for you. Can I get your number? Sorry.
Wait.
Oh,
I'm not going to explain myself.
that was I think that was a drug joke. You've been looking to get some Mollie?
No.
Becca, would you like to explain to the class what you meant exactly by your joke?
I'm such a
I'm trying to get
square.
more bros in my life.
I'm such a square that went right over my head. I am the person that's like, can I have one marijuana?
One marijuana,
Yeah.
please?
That's me. 100% that's me, I'm like,
Yeah. Don't worry, you gotta hang with like a hardcore kind of drug crime kind of expert like me, and I'll walk you guys through it, no problem.
That's what this show's about, right?
That's right. My sordid and shady past as a theater major. All right, are we ready to play some Blades in the Dark? Because we've got a big score coming tonight.
we have an assassination.
You guys ready? All
Right?
right.
I've never been
we have an
more ready.
assassination.
Wait, then I'll bring up my overwritten intro, and after I read that, we are in the game. Okay,
Catch me up.
Here we go. Yes. Well, my game intro just introduces the game, and then I'll give us a nice recap.
Don't catch me up.
Yeah, I just want to see how much you guys remember. Okay, here we go. 1,000 years ago, this was a land of beauty and magic. Then came the cataclysm that blotted out the sun and ripped open the gates to the land of the dead. The city of Duskfall is a metropolis of factories and refineries protected by its crackling lightning towers, which are fueled by marvelous electroplasm. Outside the walls is a wasteland of vengeful spirits. Inside the walls is a wretched hive of scum and villainy, intrigue and corruption. Life is cheap in a city ruled by death. The sun is gone. The only thing that shines in Duskfall are the blades in the dark. And now you get your recap. Your contact, Weird Sisters, your contact, Irimina, a vicious noble, told your crew that the Red Sashes, a gang of Eruvian sword fighters, want to kill her or hurt her. Irimina is a vicious, nasty, gossipy, mean-spirited, but very rich and beautiful noble
Don't talk
who
about
actually.
my friend like that.
Sorry, yeah, well, it's true. It's true. She actually last time helped Kija retain her membership at the Century Club, but she let you know that the Red Sashes want to hurt her. Now, what she doesn't know, and your crew knows, is that the Red Sashes are really angry at you, at your crew, because your gang really messed up two of their members during your last score at the Ministry of Preservation. But the Red Sashes don't know who you are. They only know that Irimina got you the invitation to that Ministry of Preservation luncheon where you were able to do that. You guys were able to keep your identities a secret. As I said, Kija's a master of disguise. Mollie sent ghosts to do her dirty work mostly, and the crew remained anonymous. But Irimina, the Red Sashes, tracked it all back to her. So they want her dead. Irimina tried to hire you guys to scare them off, possibly kill one of them to send a message. But Mollie had the idea that it might be more profitable to kidnap Irimina and then get the Red Sashes to pay you for taking her out of the equation yourselves.
The double cross.
The double cross. This is certainly a strange thing to do, but if we remember the Weird Sisters, their reputation is strange. So you are working perfectly within your reputation. And so before we get rolling, I would just ask, what stress level is everybody at? Just so I know how hard to make this thing.
I'm fresh.
I got 2 because I spent my whole turn healing old wounds at a doctor and then de-stressing.
Okay, very good. And how's Mollie doing?
I'm at a 0 because I played with my miniature town and then told everyone about it. So I was
That's right.
I'm relaxed, so relaxed because I've been watching their sad little lives and I'm
perfect.
Feeling
well. Hopefully you can collect more tragic trapped souls for your miniature suburb.
Hopefully, Irimina's.
Can I just say that our who we are is entirely determined by how other people see us and how we think they see us. So our reputation being strange has led to this, and it was inevitable.
Everyone else's perception forced your hand up to this point.
It's true.
Right. It's a good question. Do we create our own personalities, or are they sort of formed by societal pressures? And it's something I hope we can answer in Blades in the Dark tonight.
We will.
I think we might. Yeah.
So what I will say is keep in mind as we kind of get this score rolling that you guys as a crew earn extra XP when you execute a successful accident, disappearance, murder, or ransom operation. And we understand that our objective that we all kind of decided on last time was to somehow disappear. She could be dead and disappeared, or she could just to get rid of Irimina and then get the red sashes to pay you for it. Okay, so there's almost kind of two parts to this. And keep that in mind as we're kind of getting the score ready. But I want to learn a little bit more about our new friend, Tabitha Keel. And so what I would like from Tabitha is to have one scene where Tabitha does something to help set this operation up. And I'm going to turn to Paula and say, Paula, tell me when you got back in contact with your weird sisters, whom you've worked with for years and years. You guys already know each other. You have a reputation. You've worked with the crew before. But when you got back in touch with them and they pulled you to do this job, Elisa Blakeman, our leech, she's back at headquarters or working on something else. But we have Tabitha Keel tonight. Tabitha, what did you do to help set up this job? And we will play it out.
Well, I think probably what I did is maybe I reached out to my friend Melvier,
a physiker,
to kind of help set something up. Perhaps we engineered a situation where Irimina felt like she needed to go see a medical professional, and while there with Melvier, that gives us the opportunity to disappear her in whatever way.
Oh, so I was just talking about like maybe a little setup action. And I thought that I love it. I thought you might go like, I watched her for a couple days.
I staked out her house.
But no, you did something way stranger and I love it. So,
I got to fit in with the crew. We're strange. We're weird.
Yes, absolutely. So you've gone to your physiker friend and I just want to know, like, so you're thinking maybe you are going to get him to prepare maybe some sort of concoction for you that you can use on her, or kind of take advantage of her coming into his shop to kind of like knock her out or something like that. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, at first I thought maybe it's cleaner rather than having her go to him and then us try and get her from there. It's probably cleaner for me to get from him something that can be, I don't know, does she get milk delivery, and then we just slip something into one of these bottles of milk that makes her sick. And then,
she gets milk delivery.
The milkman drops off the bottles of milk in this.
Well, you go to Melvier, and basically Melvier, Melvier really is kind of just the clerk at like an apothecary. It's sort of the Duskval version.
Duskval version of what? Oh, there you are.
I thought that was me for a second. I was
of a 7-Eleven or a CVS.
Got it. Okay.
And he and he's got a lot of bottles on the wall that with different chemicals in them, but he's also got like you can buy brooms and like chimney sweeping brushes and the kind of stuff you find in a CVS. And when you tell him about this plan, he's like, there are customers in here. Are you absolutely out of your mind? I can't help you assault some woman. I can sell you chemicals that would perhaps make someone go unconscious.
Great. Well,
for
that's
a price.
Okay, well, name your price. That's all I want. No one will know it has anything to do with you. They
Well,
aren't even going to remember I was here.
How powerful do you want this chemical to be?
Look, I'm not entirely sure where the rest of the crew's at with the effect we want this to take. So let's just say enough to make a person unconscious for, an hour?
Right. Okay. And so he gets to work, and he's your contact, but he wants 1 coin for this. Will the Weird Sisters pay a coin out of their? We can say, actually, you know what? We can say Tabitha Gill just has the coin. You have 1 coin, and you spend it on
last job. Sure.
Yes, from your last job.
Mm-hmm.
And Melvier is going to give you something, and he's like, I mean, I'm an artist. I don't, if you want chloroform, you can buy that anywhere.
There's a reason I came to you, Melvier.
You can fire this out of a standard flintlock or wheel lock pistol. And when it hits its target, you see this kind of cartridge opens, and there will be a small contained cloud of gas that should knock a person out for about an hour.
Genius. Has anyone ever told you you're a genius, Melvier?
Actually, it's actually really nice to hear that for once.
Yeah.
Because I work hard. I'll be with you in a minute. I work really hard to create these things.
And people don't
not
appreciate
everybody
it.
could do this kind of, because there's a lot of measuring, which is sort of, it's boring. Okay, so that was our scene with Tabitha, who now, Tabitha, when you pick your loadout, you will remember to keep that chemical as one of the items, right? So let's just keep that. And now let's ask the group. This is how planning a score in Blades in the Dark works. You don't plan out every detail. You just tell me whether you want it to be an assault, a deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport. Which type of approach are you going to take? And you guys can discuss that.
Well, as we make powder comfortable in our mermaid grotto.
Yes.
Ooh. Well, I love this. What you all have worked up for yourselves here.
Yes, Mollie's talked to the ghost about playing a harp all the time, so that was nice.
Wow.
The ghost is banging atonally on a harp in a horrible, off-putting way.
So relaxing. Just
It's
really
almost
calming.
music. She's practicing.
Well,
anyway,
I hope one day she gets good at it.
I know nothing about the occult, to be quite honest, but neither does Irimina, as far as I know. What if we set her up to think something spooky is happening when it's all faked? Mollie?
Well, then maybe, afterwards she would be like, oh, let's call in a spook doctor to fix it. And that's me. And then I stab her.
I love this. She doesn't have to die, but if you want to stab her, I won't stop you. She has been my only friend outside of our team.
Well, I thought we were going to put her in my town, and then we were going to have you be her so you could be rich and go to the spa.
I forgot the whole plan, and I love it again.
Yeah, wow.
I will own that spa.
And remember, if you want to get paid for this, you'll have to somehow get the Red Sashes to acknowledge that you've taken care of Irimina for them. You might. I don't want to change
that part to me.
Okay,
Mollie's got
great.
the once she's scared of stuff being interacted with, and I will schmooze some Red Sashes. It'll take a disguise, of course.
You want
Don't worry about that.
You want me to Beetlejuice her? The good old Beetlejuice maneuver.
I would love for you to Beetlejuice anyone. What does that mean?
Sorry, I haven't been in Duskfall in a while. Yes,
it means I'm going to use juice to summon a swarm of beetles to her house to get people out in no time at all. Spectral beetles, to be precise. It's a little kooky, but it works.
It sounds like we have our approach occult, and it sounds like we have the detail Beetlejuice. We are summoning a swarm of spectral beetles into her house.
2 words, not
as
one,
they
spelled totally normally.
Right. Yeah. I love it. Does everybody agree to that? Do we need to discuss that anymore?
Well, it could use some sort of explosion.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
I mean, this plan could use more explosion, I would assume.
It'll get it. It'll get explosions. Right now, you can flash back to where you set a bomb later, but right now we are just going to go with occult, and the occult method. The detail is that you are Beetlejuicing her. You're using juice to summon spectral beetles into her home, and she lives in a very well-off neighborhood of Duskfall called Brightstone. I believe. Let me get that up here. And let's see. I would like everybody to tell me what their loadout will be. Will it be light, regular, or heavy? Light, normal, or heavy? Because that will affect how many items you're able to check off as you play.
And what are the drawbacks of heavy?
Heavy means you're pretty noticeable. And I might make things harder if you have to do a lot of jumping or running.
I'm going to go light because stealthiness is kind of my bag.
Great.
I'm going to go normal.
Great. And my friend Tabitha?
Well, I'm going to need... I also I need to be able to be a little bit stealthy, potentially. How much of a disadvantage of being normal is it lends to that?
Normal is normal. So if unless you were doing something very acrobatic, it probably wouldn't affect you too bad. And unless someone was looking very closely, they probably wouldn't be able to notice.
Well, I do wear. I'm pretty unassuming to begin with, and wear a lot of black and have a tendency to cover my face. So let's say normal.
Normal it is. Okay.
Have emo bangs.
Emo bangs. I have a nice little scarf, a black scarf that just easily pulls up over when I need to.
So you just have kind of the eyes looking out between the emo bangs and the scarf. I love it.
When necessary, yeah. I only pull it up when I get really serious, though.
So just remember, as you play the game, that Kija, you can check off 3 items as you play. That's how many items you can use during the score. And Mollie and our friend Tabitha, you can check off 5 during the score. And now let's do our engagement roll, where I answer a bunch of questions to find out how well this is going to go for you and what the starting situation is. So I'm going to give you, so you start out with 1 die automatically. The better you roll on this, the better your starter situation. If you failed, if I roll and it fails this roll, you start out in a desperate or terrible situation. So first of all, I'm rolling 1 die you get for free. Then I'm adding a die because you're close to Irimina.
I'm never desperate, darling. Yes.
Yes, she's kind of your friend. So you know some things about her, and that could come up during the score. So I'm giving you a die for that. And then I'm going to give you a die because this is extremely unexpected. She's like a patron that has offered you, all kinds of benefits. No one would expect you to do this, and I think that if she's expecting someone to come after her, it's not you. So I'm giving you a die for that. But I don't feel that her place has been very cased out or that you've looked very deep into her life. So I'm taking 1 die off for that. I think that you guys are kind of going into this a little blind. And so now I'm going to roll.
Did Mollie make a miniature of the entire city that includes Brightstone?
Mollie, you can answer that question. Is your model of the entire city, or I think it was your community, is how you narrated it before?
Yeah, I've kind of built something from the ground up because Mollie's a psychopath.
Yes, or a creative. You could say just a really creative soul.
Synonyms.
I
for
also
sure.
give them new backstories. It's very weird.
You said there's a wedding this week?
Yes.
Love that.
And so here we go. The engagement roll. is off. I've thrown the dice, and let's see here. I rolled a 1 and a 6. So that's pretty good. Let's see. If I get a 6, a good result. You're in a controlled position when the action starts. And so I'm gonna just set the scene for you. You all are in a safe place outside Irimina's beautiful, lavish sort of. It's not a mansion quite. It's more of like a brownstone, right? Because she is in the middle of the city here, in the middle of Brightstone. But it's like it's a ridiculous number of floors. It's 7 floors. She has her own like little skyscraper. Okay, so you can tell me exactly where you are around this building, but I can tell you that your Beetlejuice worked perfectly, Mollie. And so I would like for you to narrate exactly in a controlled way, giving yourself as much benefit as possible, how that's working. But first, can I just hear where everybody is? So let's start with Kija. Where are you in relation to Irimina's building?
Of course, naturally, we have built a high-tech tree house in the oak tree opposite her brownstone townhouse.
You absolutely have. And it not only camouflages you, but it's got all kinds of scopes and things so you can kind of watch her window and her balcony carefully. Yeah.
Yes, like 7 stacked kaleidoscopes. What are they called? Telescopes. So close.
And kaleidoscopes. Various different.
Each one has its own, yeah.
Right. There's like a spectral scope where you can see into the ghost field and all that stuff. So she is in your treehouse that you've constructed that Elisa Blakeman built for you, since she's the leech. You are perfectly able to watch her. And Tabitha Keel, where are you? You could be in the treehouse nest, or you could be somewhere else.
Let's see. I think I am. I want to know exactly where she is in this moment. So I think would like to use some of my scouting ability here to be probably in the treehouse as well, using these telescopes that are here to focus around and see, just looking to see if I can spot how she's moving through windows, or see if I can track kind of the path that she's doing, just her general state and location, if I can. That's probably what I'd be doing.
You rolled that you're in a controlled position, so you can. And where she is right now is she's out on her 7th floor balcony, and she's in her robe, and she's doing that thing people do in commercials where they have their cup of coffee, and they, with 2 hands, they drink it.
Everyone
and
does
just
that.
Look out. They just look out over the city. Oh, what a beautiful city. And the wind is sort of, Irimina is very beautiful, and the wind is sort of ruffling her hair in a very dramatic way. And now I will ask Mollie to not only let me know where her character is, she could also be in the treehouse, but what tell me about the spectral beetle swarm. What's it doing?
So first of all, I'm in a carriage with the words Roach Coach sprayed across the side and a giant steampunk roach on top. And I'm in the back of it with my spirit mask on, hanging, doing a handstand like I normally do, because I got to focus when I do these things. And I use my ghost key to kind of enter the spectral realm and basically create a very weird, creepy, sticky goo trail of pheromones leading out of the spectral realm all the way into the septic system or sewer system going up into Irimina's house. And now I'm quietly observing the steady march of spectral beetles from my perch in the back of this Roach Coach carriage. Because she's going to need an exterminator now, and I will be perfectly poised.
Yes, and because it is a controlled situation, you don't have to roll for any of that. That all is happening. And so now, if Tabitha or Kija move like their scopes down to the street, and they maybe switch to like, ghost vision or spectral vision, you see that what started as a trickle of sort of dead bugs has now become like a full swarm, and the people on the street don't notice them because they technically exist in the ghost field. So people are walking right through them without seeing them, but with that spectral vision on, you see, and now they're climbing up the side of the building on the outside as well, and they're certainly filling up the drains. And it's only a matter of time before there is some sort of manifestation. And so let's make a manifestation happen. I'm just going to make a fortune roll to see what happens from this kind of weird sabotage you've done. Okay, so that means some sort of middling result occurs. Something does happen, but it's not like perfectly awesome for you or horrible for her. So I'm just going to say that whoever's watching her on the balcony suddenly, you see someone in a servant's garb, sort of a cross between like a black tie tuxedo, but also with really weird steampunk epaulettes, comes out onto the balcony and says something to her, and she puts her mug down and runs back into the building. And that is what you have seen. And so now I need to know, what is the next part of the score? What happens next?
I feel like if her mug's just sitting there, this presents an opportunity. You could explode her from the inside. Can I flash back to when I infiltrated the Red Sash's headquarters?
Yes, of course. I didn't know that you did that. You infiltrated the Red Sash's headquarters? Yes. Okay. So tell me what happens. You were at the Red Sash's fencing school, where it's this kind of it looks almost like a temple in the middle of shops and more commercial buildings. There's sort of this maybe it used to be a museum or even some kind of mausoleum in old Duskfall, but now it is a place where all day they practice spinning their scimitars and throwing daggers at each other. And so that is sort of the environment. There are many large rooms with mats and targets and blades flashing about. What happened when you infiltrated the school?
Okay, so we zoom in on one of their instructors saying, this is whatever he says of the instruction that is happening between two pupils that are fully masked in that classic fencing gear in the all white puffiness with the mesh beekeeper face mask.
Sure.
And then he takes the place of one of the students in order to show the students watching his instruction. Little does as the opponent goes after him hard, and the fencing is intense, and they're jumping up on all kinds of balustrades and different moving as all the students come and watch, and then he is penned. The teacher who is trying to make a lesson out of this student as I pull off my mask and flip my hair. And say, can we speak in private?
Wow, you've gone into their headquarters and you have bested one of their teachers at sword play. That's an incredible flashback. It definitely sets you up to have a very strong relationship with them. So I'm going to charge 4 stress for that flashback, and the reason is you. What is your character's skirmish ability? I'm looking at it. You have you have 1 skirmish.
Okay, so, but for all that stress, I feel like I should have flashed back to having gone to this academy for several months.
I'm taking it down to 3 stress because I didn't. Okay. I thought you had 0 skirmish, but you have 1 skirmish. So
I can skirm with the best.
You can skirm. You're a skirmer. And so take 3 stress for that. But essentially, one of the teachers at the Red Sash's sword fighting academy has had a deep and meaningful conversation with you and is very impressed and in awe of your swordplay skills. And so that is a fantastic flashback. And we flash back to the present where I'll just remind people that mug is just sitting there. And I'll also go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to make a clock called the building is evacuated. when it's full, the building is evacuated, and it'll be harder to figure out where Irimina is or maybe pin her down. And I'm going to go ahead and put a wedge of it filled in. There are 4 wedges in it. I'll tell you when I fill in more wedges. But 1 of 4 is filled in because now you do see like people kind of running out of the building going, but it looks like they're having a bad trip because you don't see what's on them. They're just like, get it up. And they're like running out in the street and like carriages are almost hitting them. So chaos is already beginning. What happens next in the score?
So I have a quick question. So our idea is we are trying to have Mollie or the rest of us show up as almost spiritual exterminators to deal with this.
That's true.
Is my understanding of that correct?
I had forgotten that, Paula. I had completely forgotten that, but that was one idea that was floated. And if you take the reins, you can just decide, I'm following that thread, and that'll be fine.
If I can, I would like to flash back to a conversation I had with a friend of mine who I convinced that they should offer their services as a servant in Irimina's household so that when all of this goes down, they are primed to say to Irimina, I know the perfect spiritual exterminator for you to call. Let me call them right now. And they will be the one to call Mollie so that we can, or us, so that we can show up as the spiritual exterminator.
So that's wonderful. I'll allow you to do that for 1 stress if we use the character that you have marked on your sheet, Casta, a bounty hunter.
Okay.
Casta has a down arrow, right? Mm-hmm. That means that Casta isn't just a good friend. It means Casta is a rival. Yeah. And so the man we saw on the balcony earlier, like a week ago, was sitting with Tabitha Keel and going like, you want me to pose as some sort of butler, eh?
Look, Casta, yes. I just need you to... You were always saying that you're better at, disguises and impersonations than I am, right? Well, now's your chance to prove it.
It's absolutely true. I fade into whatever part I'm playing. It's absolutely impossible to realize it's me. It's how I infiltrate different organizations.
You're absolutely method. I believe it, right? I don't even know who you're meant to be at the moment.
If I do this thing for you, Tabitha, I want 1 coin. Pay up. You can pay after the job.
Yeah, I'll pay after the job. Let's see how well you actually do at this impersonation before I just throw money at you, Casta.
And so cut back to the present, and if you were on the balcony when the servant came out and announced something, you would have heard the servant actually come out onto the balcony with the grand epaulettes and black tie tuxedo and go,
Madam, it appears there's some sort of infestation in your apartments.
And then she runs back in, and then you see Casta follow her and go,
Madam, if I may be so bold, I believe I can recommend a service that can exorcise unwanted spirits for a reasonable fee.
And he hands her a card. And what does the card say, Mollie? What did your carriage say?
Roach Coach.
Yeah, he hands her a card that says Roach Coach on it, and Irimina's like,
so friendly.
Roach Coach.
Insect removal.
And she's looking at it, and she's like, I think not. I shudder to think it. What a roach coach. What evils they would inflict upon my apartments. But at that very moment, suddenly, like, her walls start kind of like oozing, and then out of the ooze, like the ooze starts forming, like it's like ectoplasm. It's like, is it blood? It might be blood, but then the blood sort of congeals and hardens, and then it grows legs. All of these little pustules and bubbles grow legs, and then the bubbles break free of the ooze and start skittering around the floor. And she's like, And a few moments later, there's a knock on the coach. The Roach Coach.
I slide open the thing, and now you'll notice that my usual spirit mask has been somewhat modified to look like a gas mask.
Perfect. My mistress, I'm her butler, a trained butler, a valet that has been in the service for many years. My mistress wishes to hire your services.
All right, my fee is 2 coin.
Right, she'll... Wait. Yeah, all right. Okay, she'll pay it when we get upstairs. Follow me, miss. And
let me gather my tools.
Yes. And so he is ready to take you into the apartments, and he has access to the apartments.
When I say like, I'm gonna go gather my tools, I shut the door again.
Mm-hmm.
And do I have a way to communicate with Kija?
Of course, we have walkie-talkies.
Sure. I mean, it's a Victorian age sort of situation.
It looks kind of like Victrolas
with a string. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
I like the cups with the string. That's dope.
I like the cups with the string even better than the awesome Victrola idea. If you guys would do me a favor, one of you needs to check it off as an item. And if it's not like in the list of items you see at the bottom of your list, there are these little blank spaces. And I think that they require 2, some of them, like for the slide at least. And then let me see for the hound. Yeah, so you check off 2 items to have like a little walkie-talkie thing, because that is a nice advantage and sort of a crazy thing in this world. But I think it works. Do you have so you start talking into your can?
If I have to pay 2 out of my 3, can I say that it's a tiny Victrola that each of us has on our ear that has electrical signal that we've wired to connect to each other remotely?
Yes, you can, and yes, it is.
But they are, if anybody looks too close, they'll see a tiny speaker thing. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's not super obvious, is what you're telling me.
I'm saying it's even douchier than wearing the Bluetooth thing.
Oh, I like that even more. You're business
a tiny
people.
Victrola, but like
you've got big meetings coming up. You got to get to your meeting. I love it, and that for two spots of your inventory, absolutely. So go ahead, Molly, and contact your friends.
I just say, like I manually say it though. I just go. It's your girl Malls. Our services
been
are
waiting.
required.
Is it time?
It's time.
Powder, feel free to come with me. I'm going to suit up in a jumpsuit and zip it up, and it says Roach Coach on the back, and then I'm going to slide down like a fireman's pole, hidden on the side of the treehouse.
Right.
Great. So I take my my black kind of like tunic top that has like kind of ties on it, and I can wrap it around and tie it close to my body, and then I will also get into my exterminator outfit and follow Kija down.
Very
of course,
good.
I have to wear a gas mask as well so that Irimina doesn't recognize me.
Right. Right. And when you all approach Casta, he gives the only one who's non-gas masked, Tabitha, a look, and he's like, "Follow me, ladies." And he heads into the building. Now, of course, this is one of
in slow motion, by the way.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, you do. A total Reservoir Dogs moment, yeah. And then the song "Rock and Rolla" plays, or something like that. And so you all get into the building, and he takes you over to the elevator, and he like punches in a couple buttons to get you to the 7th floor, and it starts to arise when suddenly it starts to shake a little bit, and you notice that ooze is starting to come down the walls of the elevator, and suddenly these bubbles are kind of opening in the ooze, and like little crustacean like claws and like mandibles and legs are kind of popping up out of the bubbles. The worst part about it though is that your elevator is starting to kind of shake and like shimmy, and he's like, and Casta just goes, it's happening again. So he's useless, And so I would like to know who is going to answer this challenge. It appears that the infestation has caused a little danger for you, maybe a stumbling block to getting to the top of the tower here. Who will answer this challenge?
I'll try to pipe or something, I think.
Okay, great. So what action would you like to use, Molly?
I'd like to attune.
That makes sense. And I'm going to say this is risky, not because these are particularly dangerous creatures, but because of the situation they have you in. They appear to have eaten the elevator cord a little bit.
Oh.
And so that's why it's risky. But I would say that you'll have great effect. If you manage to attune with them right now, you'll get rid of this problem altogether. Okay.
While this is happening, can I pull out one of my pistols from my fine pair of pistols, cock it, and put it right to Cass's head and be like, get a grip, and see if I can get him to get a hold of himself?
Sorry, miss. I don't like dealing with the metaphysical.
And that is when you may roll your action when you are ready, Molly.
I got a 2 and a 5.
A 2 and a 5. So success with a consequence of some sort. And so the success with a consequence is this. You succeed in you tell me what you do to the bugs. How do you get rid of them? What do you do to them?
That's where I messed up. Is I do what everyone does when they mess up the ecosystem. I get a spectral thing that eats bugs. Trying to think of a special anteater. And now the anteater is running amok. So soon I'm going to summon something. You guys really shouldn't let Molly be in charge of the plan.
This is going
I'm going to have to summon something to eat the anteater. It's just going to get...
Yeah. No, there's some sort of like demonic echidna in the elevator now, and it's like bashing around, like, and it's got this like long prehensile tongue, and it's like slurping up the bugs, but it's like even more dangerous. You guys go like you reach the 7th floor because the creature stops the bugs before they kind of eat away the elevator cord totally. You guys go spilling off, but the real consequence is you can no longer use the elevator. The elevator is too dangerous. This creature is inside it. It's weighing down the already eaten up elevator cord. But now you are on the level where Irimina keeps her domicile. Casta leads you to the door. He opens it and he goes,
Madam, may I please to announce the Roach Coach?
And when you get inside, if you walk inside, Irimina's there, and she's like, "Do something! They're ruining my art!" And you can see that the creatures are literally like eating like modern sculptures that she has in here, and then like eating away at like big portraits of like her ancestors here in sort of the entry hall.
Well, you see, we do have a deposit fee before we get started. That has to be...
Yes, of course. What was it? And Casta goes, 2 coin. And she's like, of course, here. And she gets into kind of like, when rich people, they just have like petty cash in like a little junk drawer, like by their hall door. She just opens that and is just like piling coin out. And she puts resources equal to 2 coin out in front of you. And we can add that.
Petty cash?
She has more than that. You see that there's more inside of the drawer there.
I'm looking at Kija and Powder like,
yeah. You know what? She has no defenses here, and we have infiltrated her butler. I feel like we should just put a blade to her throat right now. So I moved to do that. And I will check a blade or 2.
Okay, so you check off a blade and you're moving toward her with a blade when suddenly this man comes out into the hall. He's like big and brawny, and he's got like long flowing black hair and like a big black beard, and he's all man, and he's wearing nothing but a towel. And he looks at Irimina and he goes,
"Babe, what in the hell is going on? What are these things?"
I slash at his throat.
You slash at his throat.
This towel. Because then he has to pick it up.
Okay. I hear in my Vitrola, special conch shell earpiece that go for the towel, and then I change direction at the last minute.
If he goes for the towel when he's bent down, I'll take the butt of my pistol and whack on the back of his head to try and knock him out.
Okay, so I'll have. Why don't we have both Tabitha and Kija roll skirmish? And I'm going to say that. Let's see. This is pretty controlled because I think that you've set yourselves up really to surprise everybody here. She doesn't know who she thinks you're exterminators, so you're surprising the hell out of her. So it's controlled, but it will have limited effect, and by that I mean. You won't take him out completely here. You will just kind of like get him out of your way for a moment because this guy looks like he can handle a fight. Okay? So when you are ready, both of you may roll skirmish.
For one tip, I roll one die.
Yes, you'll roll one die. That's right.
So, okay. There's my classic die rolling. I got a 4 and a 2.
4 and a 2. And how did you do, Kija?
I just rolled the one die because I have one pip, and I rolled a 2.
You rolled a 2. Now, I could have offered you a devil's bargain, or you could have pushed, and I apologize for not bringing that stuff up. Sometimes I forget it until we have rolled. But since this wasn't life or death peril, I think we'll keep playing. And keep in mind that, like, later if you have just one die, maybe you want to take 2 stress, add a die. Maybe one of your friends can assist you. That'll help you add a die. But for now, let's take it as it lays. You failed, and your friend Tabitha succeeded with a consequence. So you tried to grab his towel, Kija. Is that what you tried to do?
I tried to slash at his towel because I was about to go for the neck. But I, at the last minute, heard my friend Mollie in my ear and changed direction.
Well, here's what happened. Your failure is you changed direction. You didn't slash at his towel.
I went towel, not neck.
Towel, not neck. Thank you. Okay, you actually succeeded too well. That is your failure. You hit him really hard with the blade in an area no man would like for a blade to go. No. And suddenly he's like, ah! And you can see the red hot rage and vengeance and shock on his face, and that's when our friend Tabitha comes in with the pistol butt, which succeeds.
I wish I could say this was the first time I did this in a role-playing game.
Oh wow! It succeeds with a consequence. I feel like Mollie's about to resurrect the ghost of this man's penis. Anyway, Tabitha comes in and smashes him with the butt of her pistol, but she succeeds with a consequence. The consequence is you have a brace of pistols. That one of those pistols is now, it hits him, and he must have a really hard head, or you hit him just wrong. It knocks that pistol out of commission. So now you just have the one. Okay?
That's the one I was going to use with the special bullet.
But so your fail means that he now wants to kill you. He doesn't know who you are, Kija, but he wants to kill you. But luckily your friend Tabitha Powder has kind of distracted him for a minute. He's got to spend a minute screaming, being in shock from his penis, and holding his head. So you have time.
Want to kill me too. That's fair.
You have time for you have time to do something. But in fact, our friend Irimina is now going to act, and Irimina is going to, let's see, what can she do? Okay, Irimina runs to the wall and starts opens some kind of panel and starts messing with dials. And to you, it looks like some sort of trap or security system, but lacking your leech, you're not exactly sure what it is. And so I will give, in fact, because you did fail, Kija, I think you're taking a moment to look at what you did and be like surprised or just kind of absorb it. So I'm going to allow Mollie or Tabitha to act against Irimina if they'd like. She's about to activate something.
So my other pistol is the one that I had planned to already have loaded with my chemical bullet.
Yes.
And so I see Irimina going for this thing, and I'm like, okay, now or never. And I pull, this one's messed up anyway. I pull that pistol out, and I'm going to shoot the chemical bullet at her in the hopes of knocking her out.
Here's where I'm going to be a bastard game master, Paula, because I think that you did load one of your pistols with the chemical compound, but did you load the one you still have left with the chemical compound for a mini flashback and one stress? That's true. Or I can make a fortune roll.
I'll flashback to it.
Okay, great.
Because I had been thinking it in my mind the whole time and not saying it. So I'm happy to take a stress and flashback. So before we go, we're in the treehouse. Kija and I are talking about our plan, and I say, okay, this pistol, regular pistol. This is the first one I'm gonna pull out. But this
wait, in your left hand?
In my left hand, yeah. This one, it's my lucky pistol. I've got this bullet, and when I shoot it at her, it's gonna release a gas just around her face and knock her out. And I don't have to use it if y'all want to kill her, but I'm gonna have it ready. And I'm going to set it, and I'm only going to pull it out when I need it for that. And I've got it loaded, and I show it to her in the chamber. That's the only thing that's in here. And then I put it away.
Great. Okay.
Showing me.
Now you know my plan.
Great. What an amazing flashback. Just Tabitha telling you the history of her pistols. And
they're beautiful, carved. I inherited them, actually. Oh, you're already, go on, do your surveillance. That makes sense.
And so now we see we're back in the present, and she's holding the beautiful, ornate, lucky pistol out. And Tabitha, what action would you like to use to hit Irimina with the knockout stuff?
I guess is that.
I've never. Well, listen. I can give you. It's okay. I can. Well, no, there is no correct one, because in Blades in the Dark, if you could convince me, you could tell me how command lets you do it.
I think hunt would let me do it.
Yes, I think so.
I am pulling out. I'm taking aim steadily as though I am hunting in any other situation, and calmly knowing that this moment might come up, knowing what needs to happen, knowing I need to stop her from whatever she's doing. I will hunt her, I will aim, and I will fire.
Great. So this is going to be risky, but it will have great effect. If you succeed in this roll, you will, in fact, hit her with your knockout powder and knock her out powder. But it's risky because if you get a consequence, she's going to be fast enough to turn on whatever this thing is. Okay? So here we go. Roll.
I have two. I can roll 2 dice.
Would you like to push?
Devil.
Oh, a devil's bargain. Would you like a devil's bargain? The devil's bargain, I'll offer it to you. You can decide. I'll give you one more die. But the consequence of having the one more die is that this guy is not going straight for Kija. This guy that's still here holding his bleeding private area is going to go for you, because you're the last one that hit him. So you're next. You're the next person he attacks.
Great. Let's do it. I'll take that.
Great. Okay, here we go.
3 dice. Oh, I'm so nervous. I normally have really bad dice luck. I know I haven't on Thaco Tuesday, but I normally do. A 4 is my highest roll.
A 4 is your highest. And so, as I described, yes, I'll just say that Irimina pulls down a big, nasty-looking lever right before what happens. Explain to me how it hits her and what effect it has.
In slow motion, you see the finger pull the trigger, the hammer, the slide of the gun, the chemical bullet. It's all just very dramatic, because Powder really thinks Tabitha's really like, oh, I'm so awesome. And then as it gets right to her head, it in timing, right before it would hit her, it actually explodes. A cloud of green gas just surrounding her head pops out, and she drops to the ground.
Great. That happens. And then the next thing that happens is, because she's pulled some kind of lever, you see some kind of gas pouring in from the corners of the room in this great hall. So you gassed her, she hits the floor, and she's gassing you. This is some sort of security measure. And
gas mask.
Are we wearing gas masks?
oh my God, I'm such a fucking idiot. That is so fucking funny. Except for powder.
Technically, I don't have one. I just have my little scarf. But I would think to myself, she must have one somewhere. Why else would she release this gas in the room if she didn't have a plan for what to do with it? So maybe I can find one somewhere in the room.
You maybe can, but right now our man has recovered. So I'm gonna say you're gonna do an action. You're gonna do an action to try to figure out how to, because you can already feel this gas making you kind of lightheaded. You're gonna use some sort of action to find something to help you with that. Maybe one of your friends can help you with the fact that the guy is like running at you now, like to just like, I mean, just take you out, like just full skirmish, like smackdown wrestling move on you. So what is everybody's action? What would you like to do?
Well, I'd like to flash back where you see Mollie poring over a subject who's been knocked out. And she's like, in ancient Egypt, they used to pull brains out through a nose. What if I could just pull a soul out through a nose with like a lightning hook? And like reaching in, wiggling it and pulling out a soul. And you see her now flashing forward, go and stand over Irimina with a very special lightning hook.
Yeah. So while you guys deal with the security measures and this angry boyfriend, Mollie has she's practiced this procedure. That's it. I'm going to give you just one stress for that flashback, Mollie, because it feels like if you're practicing what you're going to do later, that's just smart. But the flashback does earn you this. You are going to now make a controlled roll with some sort of action for great effect to capture Irimina's soul. What action would you like to use?
Maybe finesse?
That sounds right. Yeah. So go ahead. It'll be controlled for great effect. You will, in fact, capture her soul. And I love that Mollie, while all shit is going down, is just carefully performing the operation.
Always prize.
Yeah, exactly. So Mollie, go ahead and let's resolve your role before we find out what happens to poor Tabitha here.
Just like the time you had the briefcase the whole time.
Yeah, that's a 3.
That's a 3, so that is a failure. Oh my God!
Is it too late to help retroactively? Take that devil's bargain.
You know what? I really, we have to do it before we roll, and I think this is really interesting. So here is what happens, Mollie, and only you can see this because you said it was a modified spirit mask that looks like that has a gas mask apparatus. You're like pulling out Irimina's soul when suddenly that weird like echidna ghost, like that weird anteater ghost that you summoned, comes like running into the room, and nobody else can see it except you because you're the one with the spirit mask on. And as you're pulling out her soul, it kind of like shoves its way into her like nose and then like absorbs into her head and body. And suddenly Irimina is going, ah, and like her tongue has become long and prehensile and it's whipping around your neck and she's like growing like spines out of her back and she's transforming into some sort of horrible spectral mutant. We'll come back to you in a moment to find out what happens with that. Right now, I want to know.
Time this week.
So,
as the man is going after powder, I want to run up and do like a baseball slide. I'm still holding 2 blades, and I want a baseball slide that slashes Achilles' heels behind him.
Ooh, that's nasty. Okay, that's a skirmish roll. And
but
the way you
be finesse because it's really more about the baseball slide.
Not only could it be finesse, I'm not supposed to tell you what to roll. So, yes, it could be finesse. And I think the way you've described it, let's go risky for standard effect. I think that this will work to kind of hobble him, and it's so cool. Do you want to push or anything, or you want to just go with your straight up finesse?
So
you already rolled, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's okay.
And I got a 3.
You got a 3. Okay, so
I just got excited to roll.
You slide across the floor. You miss his Achilles tendon by like an inch. You keep sliding and you bump into the body of Irimina, which now her tongue like wraps around Kija as well. And so now both Mollie and Kija are being tied up in this like huge, like, writhing tentacle tongue as Irimina continues to like grow spines that are shredding her like very pricey robe. And so now poor Tabitha Keel. What do you want to handle? The guy that's coming out at you, ready to do you harm, or the gas that's about to knock you out?
Look, we have to. I'm going to handle the guy. I think I will not be able to find a mask if I don't stop him. So as he's coming
but won't
at
the
me,
gas stop him too?
For some reason, it's not, and I can't tell you why yet. Okay.
I'm pretty good at fighting. I will take my heavy booted foot as he's coming at me, and I'll stick it out, and I will shove my heel as hard into his dismembered crotch as I can to try and make him feel so much pain that he cannot get up and chase after me.
That's fair.
People think we're weird now.
No. You know, I'm the one that cut off the penis there. So, guys, if you want to blame anybody,
yeah, you did the male genital mutilation. That was not us.
I'm a man and I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to mutilate male genitals if I want. And send your letters and comments to me. Okay, so you can attack. What action would you like to roll?
I think a skirmish.
I think because you've picked out kind of a really way to kind of exploit a weakness against him, I'm going to say this will have great effect, but I think it's still risky because he's a dangerous combatant. Yeah. So go for it.
4. I can't roll higher than a 4.
You succeed with a consequence, and the consequence is so obvious to me. So you, describe how you, you kind of did. You nail him in the area that's already injured. Mm-hmm. This time he is so overcome with pain that he's like, and he falls to the ground doubled over. And that's when he kind of sees what's going on with Irimina, because he's been in a cloud of red haze before. And when he sees that, he's like even more terrified, and he's like backing up and leaving a little trail of blood from his little business. That the consequence is that you
his little business.
Yes, his little business. He why did he work out so much? Perfect his physique and his fighting, compensating. But Miss Tabitha, the gas has made your muscles go relaxed, and you can now not really move. You can just kind of flop around.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna any kind of physical thing you try to do, fighting, things like that, it's gonna be super difficult and hard to pull off, but you can still kind of think, search, and talk. Okay. That's when I'm gonna go back to our friends who are currently about to be strangled by the strange prehensile tongue of the possessed Irimina. That her tongue has wrapped around your limbs, around your neck. And she is like raising up with like claws to kind of attack both Mollie and Kija. What would you like to do?
Did I get Irimina's soul?
It is currently like whatever those forceps you're holding there, Mollie. Irimina's soul is kind of twinkling and kind of squirming on the end of them. And a consequence that might come up if you don't roll really well is that you lose it.
Yeah, I was afraid she was going to get eaten by the echidna.
Yeah.
This is awkward. I say while being strangled.
Do magic thing.
Yeah, Kija, do a magic thing. I love that.
Weird occult stuff.
It's true. It's true. All right. All right. I've done this before. Can I use my ghost friend to try to fight this ghost friend? My big bloopy ghost friend?
Yeah. How are you summoning your ghost friend, or how did you make sure your ghost friend was already here, or how are you doing that?
Flashback. I packed an ectoplasm vial.
Mm-hmm. In fact, Molly, you don't even have to spend the stress for a flashback if you have an inventory spot left.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Done. Check that off.
Sweet.
And tell me what happens when you open that vial.
Yeah, while being strangled, I just open it and shake it, and nobody else sees anything, but I see it because I've got my spirit mask. Like this peanut butter and jelly like material starts coming out and then turns into my big weird friend that plays very poorly.
Yeah, sort of like a cross between The Ring and La Llorona or whatever. Like,
oh, that was such a scary movie.
Yeah, and so now this shade, which only Molly can see, starts like pulling at the tongue and like trying to pull it off of you, and it just really wants to hurt the spirit inside of Irimina. So it's kind of unwrapping her with tongue, like she's like getting the tongue out of the way, and that is having the effect of kind of loosening the tongue on you, or stopping it from like completely cutting off your air. I still think
loosen that tongue.
I think that you're still in danger in that. I'm going to go ahead and change my clock that used to be about the building being evacuated into authorities show up. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in another piece of that to show that there are only 2 pieces left before the blue codes or someone shows up to this building, because chaos has been created here. So you guys have some freedom of movement now. The ghost is sort of handling the possessed Irimina for you. I'm going to hop back to Tabitha. Tabitha, what are you going to do?
Okay. So as my last item, in my pocket is a fine-trained hunting pet who happens to be a rat. A slightly larger than normal rat, but still small enough to fit in a pocket, who comes along with me on all of these things. And the rat is going to hopefully not be affected by the gas. I didn't think about that when this happened. Crawl out of my pocket, and I'm going to say, gas mask, and send it on a search looking for me it's going to hunt a gas mask for me.
Yes. Would you like to roll an action with that to how you've trained it and how to, or would you like me to just sort of roll for the rat with a fortune roll to see how it does? You could roll an action if you want, if you think that you have an action that would allow you to control it well.
The only thing I can think of is it's a little different than how I justified it last time, but hunt again, because I've trained it to hunt for me.
Absolutely.
But does that feel okay?
I'll allow that. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So hunt me some cheese in it for you. I got a 6.
A 6, which is a super success. It's a full success, rather. So here's what happens. The rat, which doesn't appear to be affected by the gas, actually, maybe it's like super attuned to humans or something like that, like skitters around the floor, and it finds Casta, who's laying there in his like butler livery, like unconscious, and it gets into his pocket, and it pulls out this like kind of like little like pop out like thing of pills, right? That were just like in Casta's pocket. It's kind of sitting there nibbling on them. And it kind of like brings them back to you.
I go, my limbs, I can't. I'll just say,
all right, great. I love this. The rat digs one of the pills out, puts it in its mouth, and comes up. And then the rat feeds you like a baby bird one of these pills.
Perfect.
All right.
Squeaks.
I didn't understand. I didn't expect any of this to happen. But again, send your complaints and comments to me. All right. So you bite into the pill, and instantly some sort of chemical fills your mouth, and you feel extremely alert, and it is counteracting the effects of the gas. And there are a couple more pills in that pack should you wish to use them. So now I will ask, your goal is still to get Irimina out of here or get her soul out of it. Well, you tell me, what do you do next, all of you?
Well, I would like to use the phone to notify the authorities that we are doing a sort of masquerade here, and there's no need to respond to any insinuation that something inappropriate is going on.
Very good. So Kija gets free of Irimina, who's still possessed and fighting a shade, runs over to where, it's kind of, again, it's like one of these old Victorola phones where you have to kind of spin it up or whatever. And it really doesn't reach across the city. It just kind of reaches down into the lobby, and you do have like a superintendent.
Yes, it's me, Irimina. I was calling to say we're doing a sort of just masquerade ball up here.
Ma'am, what's going on up there? I hear some noises behind you.
A rat.
It's a bit of play acting. There's a performance going on to entertain you. Understand? Nothing to be worried about.
Madam, I'm
Please
afraid we've
don't
been.
send anyone.
No, madam, I'm afraid we've been asked to
I said
evacuate
don't
the
send
building.
anyone.
Of course, madam. My family owes you everything.
Let's see if he sends someone or not. Give me some sort of action.
Well, I would like to roll sway, but
Okay.
Maybe this would be considered a form of disguise to pretend I'm Irimina on the phone.
I think it does count. You're disguising your voice.
Well, then cloak and dagger is my special ability, so I get one more die.
That is cool. Yes, you may roll that extra die.
Okay, of my 3 dice, I have 2, 2, and 3.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Kija. The superintendent goes, "Did I fool you, miss? Blue coat Captain Jagger. You thought I was the superintendent? We know you're behind this sabotage and we're on our way up." Click.
Red alert!
I'm filling in the rest of the clock.
Uh-oh.
The blue coats are here. Unfortunately, you have to get out with your score soon, or you're about to be in a gunfight with cops. That's bad.
Take that soul and let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's yank out the soul and then leave through the balcony, because for my last item, I have climbing equipment.
I love it. 7 floors up. So you all leave Irimina in a kind of mutant state, soulless.
Right?
Yeah, you had her soul. Yeah, I never narrated that got away from you.
Oh, cool.
I don't. So it's like still in your forceps or whatever. But you have like a bottle you can put it into? Is that right, Molly? Something like that.
Technically, when you marked the spirit bottles, it says 2. So one had my friend's spirit, the other one was empty. Put this
Great. So you placed her soul into the bottle, and you just hear like a kind of a voice on the wind for a moment as you place her into the bottle. Go, how tacky, and then it goes into the bottle, and you stop her. And now you're all standing out on this 7th floor balcony, and you can see that yes, your climbing equipment, Molly, will get you down to the ground floor. But there are blue coats below. They have their carriages and their various, automotive contraptions down below. Clang, 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 ringing their little blue coat bells. So tell me how you all are escaping. How are you all handling this?
We're gonna take the climbing equipment and try to reach the tree and get back into our treehouse to leave Incognitus.
Home Alone style.
Great. Who is leading this action? It sounds like Molly is.
I suppose, yeah.
Okay. And what kind of an action?
Myself to the back of you. I don't want to roll for myself.
Great. What kind of action is this? What action are you using for this?
I'm going to be prowling like a cat.
Yes, you will. Okay. So this is a prowl action. In this case, since you're leading an action, I think everybody should try a prowl roll, and those that fail will cause Molly to have extra stress. Okay. This is a desperate action. So make sure to mark a desperate action on the prowess part of your book, Mollie, because that counts toward your XP later when you want to upgrade some of your abilities. It's desperate action, and the reason is if your roll fails, Mollie, they can fail and it just gives you stress. But if your roll fails, you're falling. Because what I'm envisioning, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've set up some kind, you've fired something over to the tree, and you have kind of like a zip line, right? Okay, so if it fails, you fall. You tumble. Not only do you fall 7 stories, you fall into 7 stories and land beside a bunch of blue coats who are looking for you. So that's bad. I'm gonna say desperate, and but it will have great effect. I think if you can get into the treehouse, we have established the treehouse is what you created in your controlled start, so it is completely surreptitious, and the blue coats will not find you. They will no longer be a threat. So
Can
desperate.
I myself?
I think you should. That's a great idea. And I'm trying to think if I can offer you a devil's bargain. Would you take it if I thought of one?
Yeah.
Okay. The devil's bargain is I'll give you an extra die if shit, I'm drawing a blank. I was gonna say, well, if you drop the vial, yes, if you drop the vial with Irimina's soul in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
You'll take that?
Yeah.
Great. So
that makes sense. That means that while I'm ziplining, maybe she becomes unsecure and falls.
This
That's
is
right.
only if she fails that she has to do that.
Yeah.
If there's a consequence. So let's be clear. If there's a consequence, you lose the soul.
Okay.
Are you
and
taking it?
If I have no skill, sorry.
I'm gonna do it because there's no guarantee the bottle's gonna break. So maybe one of my friends can pick up the bottle if I drop it.
That's right. Okay, so here we go. I think that gives you like 4 dice, 5 dice.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I have I think 4. Yes, I have 4.
Okay, here we go. Desperate action for great effect. Go for it.
2 6s and 2 3s.
That's a critical. So now I would like you to tell me what happens and make yourself as badass and your friends as badass as humanly possible. But wait, did you all roll prowess? Prowls as well to see if she gained any stress? Please roll those, and we'll show it. We'll see if she gained any stress. But first, Mollie, go ahead and narrate what happens.
Yeah. Just see me take my climbing hook, swing it with perfect precision. It wraps around one of the tree branches some distance away. I attach the other end to the balcony we're on, and then I just balance the bottle on my head and say, "Follow me!" and slide down.
Great. How did the other two do?
I rolled a 6.
Great.
If I have no skill, I roll 2 and take the worst.
That's right.
I got 2 4s.
Okay, so you, I don't think either of you earn Mollie any extra stress because you have to fail when she's leading an action. If one of you leads the action, a failure causes her stress, but you didn't fail, Kija, and so zip right over the blue coats' heads and into your carefully constructed treehouse, where when you go through the kind of the revolving door at the top of it, it closes again and it just looks like a normal tree.
I snag the bottle off of Mollie's head and hand it to her.
Hey, that's mine. Oh,
Of course, yes.
that's for Mollie Town. And I shove it in my bosoms.
I love what you're doing with Mollie Town.
So there's only one part left in this score, and that is that you must determine how you're going to kind of get money from the red sashes for this. So let me know what the next step is.
Well, I think I would bring my friends, and we would be sitting inside of that sort of dojo school for training fighters, having already established my dominance there. And we're just sitting holding the jar.
And I keep plinking it to make it talk. Ding, 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 ding.
Right. the teacher that you talked to before isn't who comes into this antechamber, my friend Kija. Who comes in is a woman with her hair up in kind of a aggressive Eruvian kind of style, perfect for like a martial fighting where it won't get in your way. And she has two big engraved scimitars crossed, across her hips, so she looks like she means business. She's muscled and tattooed, and she walks over and sits on a little chair in front of you, because in these like practice auditoriums and stuff, there are just these like little stools. They don't try to make it really comfortable for students of sword fighting. And she says, "My name is Mylera Clev. I understand that you have something that you would like to sell me."
That's right, Mylera. How can we be assured that you won't come after us now that we've secured your mark?
You've secured someone I was searching for?
Name the very top of your list, who you thought was completely impossible through all the layers of 7 townhouse stories.
The top of my list? I'm actually going to look at who the top of her list actually is.
That would be me. That would be awkward.
This would be very awkward.
Top of my list, the lamp blacks have been causing me a lot of trouble.
Okay, next.
Well, if it's not the lamp blacks, then perhaps you have... have you struck a blow against the gondoliers in some way?
Okay, well, maybe.
No?
It's Irimina. It's Irimina.
Yes, I believe we were seeking her to gain some information. She is involved in something where 2 of my men were badly shamed. Yes, she do you know her whereabouts, where we can find her? Have you brought her to speak to me?
We have destroyed her ability to speak to anyone.
Excuse me?
She can no longer speak, ever. She can never speak of things she may know about you or otherwise.
This
You're welcome.
is very strange. You come into my school and you claim to have killed someone. Do you have any proof?
Mollie?
Yeah, by the way, she was talking bad shit about you guys.
She was?
Yeah, she tried to hire us.
What did she say?
She said you were after her and she tried to hire us to kill you. But
You were tried.
yeah, as a token of good faith, and I just pull out the jar and clink it to see if she'll complain.
May I bring in one of my men who is familiar with this Irimina to confirm that this is her soul?
I mean, I'm not opposed. You're probably going to need an appraiser.
Summon the Whisper! And so now another red sash gang member, but this one wearing outside of a stylized Eruvian spirit mask, comes in.
I'm like looking above it.
And he looks at you and goes, "Whisper."
What model is that? That's.
This is an ancient mask. You can't buy it. It's not available.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that at the Saturday market.
No, you wouldn't have, because
I don't think that's custom. See, mine.
Well, maybe if you were in Eruvia 300 years ago, you'd be able to buy it. But
I think you got swindled.
give me the soul.
The soul. Oh, crumble, Kija. I don't like this.
But the soul can.
Right.
And you can tell, like, he's attuning to it.
What does that mean?
It means that he's talking to it,
Mm-hmm.
or that he's about to.
I'm gonna destroy this jar.
What?
Okay.
She is the only one that knows that we were, like, she didn't do anything for that previous score. We did. So if she rats on us, That's the whole thing. Why we were gonna kill
What
her.
what if we just convince this guy to lie?
Tell me how you're doing it, and you can do it. But man,
Uh,
this is ride or die right now because he is starting to commune with the soul right now.
What if my rat comes out of my pocket and skitters across his feet and perhaps scares him, and maybe he'll just drop the jar?
But like right after it says, yes, this is Irimina.
That is a tactic you can take. Are you taking it? Because we're gonna roll for it right now.
okay, I have an
Do
idea.
rat stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to I would like to throw my voice or throw my whisper's voice to make it, or my spirit's voice to make it seem like Iramina's like, yeah, it's me, or cool. But Irimina herself is not able to answer.
Okay. What act?
Some puppeteering of spiritual nature.
Okay, you're doing so you're using the arcane with this. You are kind of manipulating the spirit field. I'll allow it. What action are you going to use?
Probably a tune or sway.
Okay, I'll let you choose either. It's going to be desperate, and it's going to be for limited effect unless someone can help you in some way, because you're going to hear he's attuning to a soul, and you're going to be creating sort of like a Houdini kind of like spiritualism show to kind of trick everybody.
And I can I take that back and instead have a flashback where I say, if you rat on us, the things I'll do to your soul, for an eternity, I'll make you suffer. But you don't rat on us, and maybe I put you in the nicest penthouse in Mollie Town, and you live the rest of your days in luxury, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take a flashback to do that. Tell me, do you want to? This flashback is cheaper in stress amount if you roll to see how well you convinced her, or you can just take 3 stress right now, and she's afraid of you.
No, I've got a pointed sway. I'll roll it.
Okay, here we go. Do you want to push yourself or anything like that?
Yeah. No.
Okay, there's no devil's bargain, so go ahead and roll your 1 die and see if you scared her soul properly.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to push myself because one is very risky. I'm going to push myself.
It's cheap for you. 2 stress and add that die, and you're going to roll 2 dice.
Okay. I got a 5 and a 4.
Okay, so that's a success with a consequence. And
you're gonna wreak havoc in Mollie Town. That's my life's work.
I didn't say that that's what's going to happen, although thank you for that great idea.
Just evil.
Irimina, the soul, says like, don't worry. I want to stay with you. I want my death to be as easy as my life was. You promised me luxury. Then you have my word. I won't say a thing. And so,
I'm aroused and uncomfortable.
He finishes attuning to it, and he looks up and he goes, "It is her." And he hands the spirit bottle, back to Mollie, and Mylera Clev says, "Very good. Then apparently you have done the work that my own sword princes could not accomplish. So I just have one question. How did you know that we were looking for her?"
She told us. She tried to hire us as independent contractors to deal with you.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
Yeah.
I'm less suspicious now.
How? We want to strike an accord with you, wheel and deal and all that. So.
I understand. You want to go into business with the red sashes. Well, you know that we have a soft spot for Aruvians like yourselves. Very well. Get into the petty cash and give these girls 6 coin.
Everyone has a drawer.
So
just
much
sitting
petty
there.
And then they get into a drawer right in the main hall, just right out front, just exactly like Irimina. And they pull out 6 coin and they put it down in front of you.
I really meant to raid her drawer.
I was gonna say, I was just thinking we really should have robbed her.
Too late now. And so you are given your coin, and you have the soul of Irimina. And let me know if you'd like to continue talking to the Red Sashes about anything, or if you would like to head back to your grotto, or if you would like to do a third thing I haven't thought of.
You know, I'm going to take this time to let Kija know. Kija, you've got a limited window of time before word of her death spreads. In the interim, I'd suggest getting out your makeup kit and getting that lifetime spa membership and all the checks and things you need signed.
Yes, absolutely. I'm way ahead. I've obviously been planning for this and thinking about it.
It took me so long to build her house because it's got to have shingles on the front. It's what I envisioned, and I thought it should be more I'll tell you later. I know you love hearing about Mollie Town.
Honestly, I don't mind. It's very exciting that you're so excited about Mollie Town, but just not here.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to groom myself to be Irimina. I would like to fully disguise myself, full prosthetics, and I've been curating a wardrobe very similar to hers.
And you can even return to her penthouse and kind of get the documents and things you would need. Would you like to do that?
Absolutely.
Very good. No roll necessary. You find like specific wardrobe items that only she would have that will help you cultivate the image of Irimina. You find various documents and deeds to various properties that will allow you to play the part even better. But there's one thing you don't find. Nowhere in the Grand Hall entryway is the body of Irimina.
The aardvark took it. Echidna.
Meanwhile, back at the grotto, who is at the grotto right now? One of you is. Tell me who.
I'll be there.
I'm there too.
Okay, great. Something bad is happening, but we need to find out if you notice it. And this is the weirdest way to set up a roll, but tell me what action you roll to notice that something bad is happening.
Well, I have ghost mind, and I'm always aware of supernatural entities in my presence, and I take when I gather info, so maybe I would feel a disturbance in the force.
Yep, your special ability negates the need for a roll. What about you, Tabitha Keel?
Well, as a hound, I have a habit of anytime I go to any location, whether it's one I visit on a daily basis or not, I like to study it a little before I go in because you never know what might be happening. And so I've taken a moment to survey, perhaps gather some info about what's going on before I go into the grotto.
Very good. And so go ahead and give me that survey roll. Because it's your own headquarters, you can have it be controlled, and it will have great effect. If you succeed, you will know if anything untoward is happening.
Now, I don't know if this counts or not, so I'll just say I have this scout special ability.
Mm-hmm.
So when I gather info to locate a target, which I would argue the target is just weird things happening at the location, I get +1 effect.
Then
does that apply?
Yeah, it does.
If I look sweet while I say it, does it help?
It does. It does. So I already said it would have great effect, but I guess.
Oh, I see now what that means. That's not an extra die. That's to the effect that you're saying. So you know.
But I know how to rule this. I know how to rule this, and it does matter here. So go ahead and make your roll, and then I will let you know how this helps you.
Well, I rolled a 3.
Oh, you failed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yeah, you, it slips right by you, but it doesn't slip right by Mollie. Like in the darkness of the grotto, the water is dripping. You can, the various whirlpools. Meanwhile, Kija is off in the penthouse, or maybe she's on her way back. Maybe she's almost about to come in as well. It's really up to Kija, but Mollie is sort of alone. Tabitha is outside, kind of like keeping watch, keeping guard, because you just went through a big score, and usually the heat is up after something like that. So you keep a close eye out. But Mollie, you're alone when all of a sudden your ghost sense goes off, and something is moving through the water toward you.
Do I see what it is?
It is a blonde head of hair is kind of floating on the water, but it's moving toward you like a crocodile.
Powder!
Suddenly, Irimina, completely transformed into a half anteater monster, blasts up out of the water of the grotto, and she is about to just suck all of the bone marrow out of your spinal cord with her forked or tongue that slashes at you. And what are you going to do, Mollie, in this moment to prevent this from happening?
And screaming.
Running and screaming. Okay, so what action are you going to use to get away?
I guess finesse.
Very good. Finesse means you are somehow using your fine dexterity. So just kind of tell me. What's that?
Prowl. I'm gonna try to duck under the tongue and just scramble up the stairs. I'm not a fighter.
Good idea. Okay, great. So this is going to be a desperate roll, because if you fail it, I am going to give Mollie some harm. Okay, because this is a harmful creature, and let's say it's risk. It's a desperate, but it will have standard effect. You will get away, but you won't be clean away, forever gone. It's still running behind you. So let's go ahead and roll this.
Make the case for maybe one extra die since I saw it coming.
You have successfully made that case. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
Please don't curse me now. 6 and a 5.
6 and a 5. Mollie ducks under the thing's tongue and runs out of the up the steps, out into the sunlight. You can go out, the back door out of your grotto leads up to it's like one of those in New York. They have those trap doors in front of shops. It opens up onto street level. And as you come out into the sunshine, I don't know if Tabitha's there. I don't know if Kija is there, but you know who is there? A big, angry...
No sunshine.
In the sunshine created by goddamn electro globes. God damn it. God fucking damn it. Fuck you, Blades in the Dark, and fuck you, everybody who gets angry every time I mention sunshine. Okay? In this artificial... I'm sorry about that, everybody. Send your comments to me. In the artificial sunshine created by the electric lights outside of the buildings, Mollie comes up out of the grotto and sees standing before her, not immediately Tabitha, who might be nearby, or Kija, who might be nearby, but a big, muscular guy with a big head of black hair and a black beard and a big kind of cast over his sort of groin area. And there's just a little bit of blood even soaking through the cast. Oh. And he looks at Mollie, and he, of course, doesn't recognize her because he never saw her face. Yeah. And you can just see that he's kind of looking around. And now... people can be there if they can reasonably explain to me why they would be there. And Mollie, after I've found out where Kija and Tabitha are, you can make some sort of action if you'd like. But Kija and Tabitha, where are you?
I think I am there. I was camouflaged in, some shrubbery or against a building across the street, keeping an eye out, seeing if anything's weird. I absolutely recognize Mr. Man. And see that, and this is a bad idea. I'll pull out my gun that I always have on me, and
I think you should, but I think first I want you to roll to show me that he didn't see you. And this, I'm kind of give you an opportunity because your special ability would come into play here. There's a second part to it.
When I hide in a prepared position or use camouflage, I get a +1 die to my rolls to avoid detection.
So let's see if he saw you when he followed Irimina, his lover, who is now transformed, to this location. Let's see if he saw you.
Can I help?
Yeah, you could help. How are you helping?
Accidentally, because he doesn't know who I am, like bump into him, but also kind of hit his cast a little bit and be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, great. So he's like, looking for his quarry through pain. You guys are just going to use your last 5 actions in the show just to keep hitting him in the crotch.
Basically.
Great. Okay, Paula, Tabitha may roll her. What action is she using?
Well, if I'm hiding, it's probably prowl.
Great.
Or I've been like kind of, so does the help give me an additional
It does.
die?
Yes, that special ability gives you an additional die.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is controlled because it's your headquarters for standard effect. He won't have seen you.
I rolled a 5.
Great. So success with consequences. Here's your consequence. And Kija, forgive me. Before we do like any final rolls, I'm going to find out where you're at. The creature comes up out of the grotto. You have one shot. You can either shoot the creature or shoot the guy. If you shoot the creature, he's going to be aware of you. This is the consequence. If you shoot the guy, that creature might get a swipe at Mollie. Think about it while I find out where Kija is.
Sure, Kija naturally would have taken Irimina's boat. Since we're in the night market, we live in our grotto right against the water. And I've taken Irimina's boat to ride home. And as I drive up, I notice like the typical sort of camouflaging with foliage that we do on the outside of the water entrance to our grotto is disturbed in a way that makes me think something's up. So kill the engine, just go in slowly. Not that there was ever an engine. It's,
there was an engine. There was an engine.
Steam powered. Yeah.
No sun though, Becca. Be careful. Go ahead.
No, of course. None at all. Absolutely. Who would ever make such a crazy mistake? And as I coast in the moonlight, lack of moonlight, in the utter darkness, is there a moon?
I don't know if there's a moon. Let's leave it out just to be safe.
In the lamplight cast upon the water's reflection, I come in and I slowly creep up the ramp that leads up to the street. And I reach for the secret control to the guillotine that, of course, we keep on the door.
Of course.
Holy shit! You have a door guillotine? That's fucking badass.
Yeah, we do. We installed that. Yeah.
And so is the creature standing under that guillotine?
Naturally.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, guys.
Door guillotine. I love you.
Here we go.
Not have that.
What are you rolling for the door guillotine, my friend Kija?
I would like to finesse this thing into.
That sounds right. You're waiting for the exact right timing to hit it so that it comes down on the creature. And my friend Tabitha, have you decided who you're taking your shot at?
Any chance that I would know? The problem is I wouldn't know that Kija is there planning to loose the guillotine.
Unless you're still wearing your tiny vitriol walkie.
Of course I am. I never take it off when we're not together. We need to stay in contact with each other.
Nicely done. Nice Imagineering, Scott.
Great. Powder is going to begin to take aim at the creature. Hear Kija say in her ear, G-Door, go, and switch over to Mr. Man.
Beautiful, like a well-oiled machine. Mollie, I'm going to go ahead, if it's okay with you, and rule that you're busy just pounding that guy in the crotch.
Oops.
Yeah, it's more like it's like a oops and like like
all of my heavy barbells. Whoops. Okay. And so let's have a final finesse roll. This is going to be desperate The reason is because if you fail this finesse roll, Kija, the monster will do something to Mollie, okay, harm-wise, and it's going to have great effect. If you succeed, you are going to kill the creature. And my friend Tabitha, yours will be risky for standard effect. You will shoot this guy, and by standard effect, I mean he will be kind of at all of your mercy once you have done that. But it's risky because if you don't hit him, you have an enemy, and that's it. Okay, so here we go. Hit it. You roll. Okay, let me talk to Tabitha first. How did it go?
I rolled a 4.
Okay. Success with consequence. And so the consequence I'm going to rule is that he's so blinded by Mollie hurting his junk yet again that he doesn't see you. And then your slug hits his shoulder and he's like, ah! And he falls to the ground bleeding. And that's when Kija hits the switch on the door guillotine. Kija, how did that go?
I reach for it and I rolled a 5, so I succeed, but there's some sort of consequence.
That's right. And so here's the consequence. The door guillotine goes down on the creature and it cuts it almost in half, but not quite. And so the creature's just going like, and its tongue is like wrapping around Mollie and everybody. And you guys have to like kind of just like fight it some more, like to kind of finish it off. Like it's like a half execution. And so
was it to sharpen the guillotine last time?
Yes,
it
wasn't sharp enough. Exactly. You guys forgot to sharpen it. And so tell me how you kind of finish this thing off. You don't have to get too graphic if that makes you uncomfortable, but let me know how you put this thing out of its misery.
I'll pull up if I can. Unless one of you
I'm trapped by its hindquarters.
That's true.
Wait, is the guy on the floor still alive?
The which guy?
Is the dude on the floor still alive?
Oh, yeah, he's still alive. And the consequence, what I was going to do is a tricky thing where I was going to make you guys pay attention to this monster for a second and then go, consequence that Tabitha rolled is that he got away. But Mollie, very clever. Yeah, he's there, and you can do something to him if you want.
So, Powder, I like give you like the quick, like, you do that, I'll do this. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to just try to, like, because this thing is animated by like an anteater thing. I'm gonna try to like do something crazy. I'm gonna try to lightning hook it and then just rip it, whatever's left of its soul, in half. Like, because it's like pinned. I'm gonna just try to like fish it and then pull while it's pinned and just see if I can just destroy its soul.
Right.
In a metaphysical fashion.
That's less violent than a lot of things you could have chosen to do. So you may go ahead and roll an action for that. I think it's going to be risky for standard effect. Would anybody like to handle the guy that Mollie has pointed out?
Yeah, I'll walk over and I'll come over to him and just point blank shoot him in the head. I'll just put my pistol on, just take him out.
Cold.
And then assuming that works, we'll just dump him in in the river or stick him in the boat, send it off. I don't know yet.
Put him in the boneyard.
He puts the ass in assassin target.
That's right.
You guys are assassins. Right. You guys are assassins. And murder, so much murder happened this time. Controlled for great effect. Tabitha, go ahead and roll. And Mollie, how did you roll?
Was it controlled for great effect or I didn't
yours was risky for standard effect.
Okay, here we go. I got a 5 and a 1.
5 and a 1. That means there is some sort of consequence, and I'm going to rule that when you rip this thing's soul out and kind of destroy its soul, that it gets one last sort of spectral kind of swing at you, and you're going to take a level 1 harm. And that level 1 harm we're going to call it soul shock. It wasn't able to like really rattle your soul or rip it out or do any damage to it, but it just made your soul a little shakier. So please write a level 1 harm called soul shock on your level 1 line. And my friend Tabitha, how did you do?
Well, I take out my pistol. I put it right to his temple. I say, "This is my lucky pistol." I pulled the trigger and the gun just clicks. And I go, "Damn, I forgot to reload." I rolled a 3 and a 1. So
Wow, that was controlled for great effect. So he can't really hurt you. What he does is he gets up. The injury to his shoulder's not been that bad. He pushes you down. He sees that he's outnumbered now, and he runs off into the city. You have an enemy out there. You killed his lover. You killed his junk. He doesn't like the weird sisters. And now, if I may be permitted,
That's fair.
I would like to narrate a final thing that happens with the weird sisters in their grotto. The body of Irimina is sort of dragged back into a dark trap door while people of Duskfall walk by under dark, unlighted skies, illuminated only with glow globes and alchemical lights. But then 4 or 5 horses come by. That's a private joke. You drag the body in, the trap door shuts, and the weird sisters are safe back in their grotto. That is the end of our score. Let's give our 3 amazing players a digital round of applause, everybody. Thank you, guys.
We'll help you. Oh,
Thank you guys so much.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go. See, people are doing it. Clap. Yay. Woohoo. Great job. You guys, how much fun was that? I love playing with a group of players where I can just go, what happens? And then they tell me something way cooler or weirder than I could ever think up on my own.
You want some bonkers shit? We got it.
This was a truly bonkers one. And I, one tier of gratitude for you guys for making that happen. Guys, these ladies are streaming all the time. Watch them on all of their shows and the things that they do. I'll just repeat one more time. It's that Bronze Girl on Twitch and Paula Deming on Twitch and Good Time Society, right, Becca?
I stream on Twitch at the Becca Scott, but Good Time Society is my YouTube channel. Check it out.
Okay, great. Guys, check out all of that stuff. Get on these guys' socials and let them know you enjoyed watching them in this show. And I will just say thank you, Paula Deming, Becca Scott, and Jasmine Bhullar. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Jared.
you.
Thank you for allowing me to
awesome.
chaos in your world.
You were amazing. See you later. I'm going to say goodbye to my friends, and I'm going to just do some brief end of show business, and then we're going to get out of here. Guys, Blood and Blades returns next Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific with our good pals from the Glass Cannon. Sorry we had to skip their score last time, but they're back, and we're going to find out what happened to the Tin Whistles. We will have Troy LaValle, Joe O'Brien, and Ross Bryant back next Saturday. We've spent 25 episodes watching Ashley Birch, Ross Bryant, and Abubakar Salim negotiate Inquisitions, ghosts, witches, and their own dwindling humanity. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. PT, come back for the very last time. Why does it say for the very last time? I don't know what that means. To vampires. What do you mean?
It's the last episode of this chronicle.
Of lockdown, right? Okay, I'm sorry. Well, it could go a little longer depending if they do something crazy, but yes, and then we will have a whole new. Thank you, Clint. We will have a whole new chronicle for you after that with a new little subtitle, and I can't wait to debut it and tell you about what we're going to get into for that. But that's happening tomorrow, 10 a.m. Vampires of Pittsburgh. Tuesday at 7 p.m., Taste of Blood. We'll give the keys to the kingdom to the beating goddamn heart of the channel, Ross Bryant. Tune in at 7 p.m. PT for his original Dungeons & Dragons 5e2-parter, Sanguine Seas, with some players I'm very excited about because they're very talented improvisers who Ross has worked with before. So I think you're going to see some goddamn role-playing magic. Holly Laurent, Rashawn Scott, and Edgar Blackman will be on the channel to go through Ross's adventure. Ross will be the dungeon master. Guys, tune in for that because I think it's going to be. I think I'm going to be jealous, frankly. I think he's going to do such an incredible job that I'll be like, I wish I was that good. Merch. Guys, we have a new merch store, and it is chock full of handsome SOB apparel for all of our shows. Cover your body in blood over at streamofblood.threadless.com. We would love for you to go and buy stuff. There's a Brad Lockwood t-shirt. There's plenty of Blood and Blades gear. Go and get it. We are still and will continue to be a podcast. Stream of Blood is a podcast that you can find on the podcatcher of your choice. Subscribe, download, rate, and review it so people know we're doing cool stuff over here. And it's also an easy way to listen when you're traveling or something like that. Blood and Blades is a game where we play Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat. Go and buy a copy. Buy anything Evil Hat makes because they're amazing. Buy anything John Harper makes because he's amazing. Original music for this stream is by Axel Kazis Taylor, and you can hear more of Axel's stuff at soundcloud.com. The best way to support us is to subscribe. I mentioned that at the top of the show. But if you subscribe, you can interact with us in new and more meaningful ways on our Discord. Our Discord, the Server of Blood. Check out Stream of Blood on Discord, where our subscribers help us build some of these adventures. We have an upcoming Neptune Society mini event where the subscribers are going to help me build the next scenario for the Neptune Society. So check us out on the Discord. And of course, we're also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and all of that stuff. So follow us there too, because it really does help when we are able to come out in strength on our socials. That's it. I want to say thank you to Brian Baldinger and Clinton Trucks, my producers and partners. I want to thank our players, Becca Scott, Jasmine Bhullar, and Paula Deming. They were amazing as usual. I want to thank Jill Petrochek, our Petrocek. Oh my God, our very excellent graphic designer. She told me how well I pronounce her name the other day, so of course I had to screw it up tonight. I want to thank our podcast producer, Andrew Struther. I want to thank our YouTube content producer, Matt Moynihan, and all of the stuff you've seen, the little logos and things are all by Jill Petrocek, so please check out her work online. That's it. Thank you, guys. I will thank you to the viewers for tuning into Blood and Blades. That's our show. Good night. Bye-bye.